G'day chaps, is I, Clumpucher139. Arkham Knight's DLC is quite a mess. All of the story packs are just really mediocre, except Batgirl of course. I've said my grievances with all of them when I ranked the stories. Nightwing was lazy, Red Hood was short, Harley didn't flow with me, and Catwoman was unabashedly difficult. But then there's Robin. Robin's story, a flip of a coin, was possibly the worst offender on the list. But why is that? It wasn't much shorter than the rest, it had unique areas, Robin is one of my favorite characters, and it had the right amount of difficulty. So where did everything go so wrong for me to make an entire video exclusively about it? It's a little thing called missed potential. Most of you probably experienced this phenomena with the Star Wars sequels, and I experienced the same thing with Flip of a Coin. There was clearly a lot of thought and effort put into one aspect of this story that is unfortunately pushed to the sideline and never given the attention it absolutely deserves. I'm of course talking about Robin's feelings of inferiority, this story's one missed opportunity. But just before I can highlight that, I need to highlight your own missed opportunity by not giving a chance to the sponsor of this video, Under Lucky Stars. The night sky is something we all love gazing up into. At least we can actually see it. But have you ever wondered what it looked like sometime in the past? Some special moment in time that you couldn't get a picture of? That's where Under Lucky Stars comes in. They create star maps of moments in time that are special to you. It could be the day you were born, an anniversary with your special someone, or anything in between. As long as you consider it a special day, Under Lucky Stars will get a snapshot of the night sky at that place and time and send it to you. It makes a fantastic gift for those aforementioned special occasions that your loved ones will absolutely adore. And your map is well and truly your own, with tons of customizable features from text to font and color that you're sure to love. All their maps are NASA certified and they even ship globally, so you won't be alienated no matter where in the world you're watching from. If any of those facts piqued your interest and you want to pick up one of these star maps for yourself, you can follow my link in the description or pinned comment to get 10% off your order and help support my channel. Thanks to Under Lucky Stars for sponsoring, but now it's time we talk about a less than lucky star that's always thrown under the bus in this series. The one thing I praised Flip of a Coin for in my original ranking video was the subtle storytelling of Robin trying to take the reins after Batman is gone. Robin has always been in Batman's shadow, as someone the thugs don't even take seriously. From all the way back at the beginning, Robin has been a joke. Dick Grayson needed to leave Gotham and become the more intimidating Nightwing to have people take him seriously. Jason Todd was captured and supposedly killed by Joker, something Joker touted for years as one of his greatest achievements. So when Tim Drake comes in as the third Robin in some 5 or so years, criminals aren't ready to take him seriously. And Batman, having recently lost Jason, doesn't take risk and tries to keep him safe instead of letting him go out and fight crime. He doesn't want Tim to see action despite him clearly having the skills to help. And in the end, this leaves nobody taking Robin seriously. Even after clearly showing his skills off over the years, everyone thinks he's just the kid Batman hangs out with. And this is especially reflected in Flip of a Coin. Barbara mentions how he's on his own now, despite rescuing Batman himself only a year earlier.
Be careful in there. It's different now. You're on your own.
She brings up how he was the good cop between the two, implying he's too nice to interrogate like Batman did.
Okay, it's just... You were always the good cop, weren't you?
Good cop, huh? Okay.
The foreman says Robin doesn't scare him before being thrown through the window.
I ain't scared of you.
Where?
Harvey says Robin is out of his depth, that he should turn back.
I know you're in here, kid. Still fighting the good fight, huh? I'd leave while you can.
And before going to execute him, Harvey says Robin isn't the Bat. Never has, never will be.
You're not the Bat. Never were, never will be.
This is compounded by an earlier comment by Barbara, who says Tim isn't Bruce.
Tim, stop that. You're not him.
So everyone keeps telling me.
And while it's true that he's not Batman, that doesn't mean he isn't a great hero. Everyone thinks so little of him, despite all of his incredible achievements across the series. He was able to break into Arkham City just to get Batman the line launcher. Meanwhile, Bruce needed to get himself arrested to get in there. He then not only escaped, but got Bruce's blood analyzed and was able to search hospitals across Gotham to find the no doubt hundreds of people infected and save them. He was the only reason Batman and the cops were rescued in Harley Quinn's revenge, because he broke into uncharted territory and fought his way through tons of enemies, including Harley Quinn herself, to reach them. He spent hours slaving away at a cure to mad clown disease in the movie studios, running constant tests on Henry when he could have been out helping Batman, but he listened and stayed because he respects Bruce so much. He then fought off Harley's crew all by himself while waiting for Batman, and then worked with him perfectly to fight them out of the studios. He worked with Barbara to rescue countless hostages while also disarming bombs across this giant amusement park, then fought Joker and Harley at the same time and won. The only time Tim loses in this series is when Batman himself locks him in a cell. He doesn't lose to criminals or villains or anything that could have been in his control, just an unpredictable event that nobody could have seen coming. True, he gets kidnapped by Scarecrow after the fact, but he was trapped in a cell without any of his equipment. There was nothing else he could have done. Robin is a consistently incredible force to be reckoned with that absolutely nobody seems to give credit to, including himself. Despite being a great hero in his own right, Robin still feels inferior to Batman, and he has every right to feel that way, but with everyone constantly putting him down. I feel like this is something a lot of us can relate to. Sure, none of us are ridiculously acrobatic heroes fighting clowns or men with two faces, but we all experience inferiority at some point in our lives. Be it parents constantly comparing us to other kids, school forcing the necessity of an A grade down your throat when just scraping by with a B is taking all your effort, or recreational sports expecting you to be the next Michael Jordan. Regardless of your path in life, you will feel inferiority at some point or another, and seeing how Robin goes about dealing with it is really compelling stuff. This is the only story where Robin doesn't sound like he's having fun fighting crime. In Matter of Family, Harley Quinn's Revenge, and even Bates' Arkham Knight, he's happy to be fighting alongside the Bat family. He's there to kick criminal ass and doesn't have any time to chew bubblegum.
How'd you get here?
I have my ways.
What kept you?
Ever heard of thank you?
What happened to the cops?
I guess not.
You'll be fine.
Of course I will. You trained me.
But in Flip of a Coin, he almost sounds like Batman in Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Let's get this sack of crap back to GCPD.
We're not getting to that beach, are we?
I think the honeymoon's over, Barb.
You're on your own.
What, leaving me already?
That's not what I...
Don't worry, Barb. I got this.
He's defeated, seemingly depressed, and he doesn't really want to be here doing this. Obviously, part of that is not spending his honeymoon with Barbara, but also having just lost his mentor, along with being constantly put down because that man is gone, will do that to a person. This is all really compelling and emotional stuff that they could be doing something great with. But in the end, it's barely expanded upon and only occurs in a mere 20-minute DLC mission. There was so much potential to create a Harley Quinn's Revenge level story where we see everyone constantly doubting Tim, and that idea slowly getting to him. He keeps proving time and again that he can be the next Batman. He can take the cowl for himself and be the hero he was meant to be. But we didn't get that. Two-Face's line at the end could have been more than just a throwaway insult. It could have been the conclusion to Tim proving that he really can be just as good as Batman. But we didn't get that. Instead, we got the idea of that happening, and were provided absolutely no expansion upon it whatsoever. It would be like in Arkham Origins if Alfred never confronted Bruce. Bruce wouldn't come to realize how important Alfred is, and would probably only grow angrier when Bane trashes the Batcave, rather than doubtful and defeated. The pair's character arc would just be incomplete without it. Just as Robin's arc is ultimately incomplete because he never has a moment of doubt. Everyone is looking down on Tim for the entirety of Flip of a Coin. However, Tim is never looking down with them. Tim never questions his own abilities because he's never given a moment to be doubtful. Aside from letting Batman lock him in the cell in the movie studios, which isn't even really his fault, Tim has never had a low point in the series. He is constantly proving his abilities, showing he can be just as good as the Bat, which means he has nothing to prove to himself. He knows he's as good as Batman. It's just everyone else that's doubting him. So his frustration comes not from a sense of inferiority, but annoyance. Imagine if Tim did have a low point in this story. Imagine he got beaten by Two-Face, and not the fake beaten we see him in when Harvey shoots him, I mean genuinely defeated. A situation he simply cannot overcome. Batman had this in every entry in the series. First was using the antidote on himself to avoid becoming a raging monster on Arkham Island, then having to fight Titan Joker in his normal state. That was followed by stopping Protocol 10 before the entire population of Arkham City was decimated by missile fire, while in a weakened state under the effects of Joker's poison, and having to leave behind Talia to save thousands. Third was learning the power of allies after his home was destroyed and lifelong companion was killed. And fourth was overcoming his urge to become the thing he hates most, a killer. Batman has a low point in every single game, and Tim could have gotten that same treatment. Tim should have lost at some point in Flip of a Coin, because it would plant the seeds of doubt in his brain. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I can't do this on my own. Maybe I'm not Batman. And the rest of the story would emphasize everyone doubting him, and those lines would start to really get to him, rather than just make him mildly annoyed. He would doubt himself more and more as the challenges grow greater and greater as he gets to Two-Face. His doubts would only grow with each passing challenge as he wonders if he's really ready to face someone as threatening as Two-Face. And when he's shot down and on his knee, this would be his final moment. His doubt would be fully realized at this point. Two-Face would be affirming his worst fears, that he isn't ready to be the Bat. But the moment he flips the coin, Tim takes action and defeats him, proving not only to everyone else, but also himself that he can be the next Batman. It could have been an amazing story. But instead, we got a couple of sly remarks from some enemies about how much of a joke Robin is without any evidence to back it up. Honestly, in the Arkham franchise, Robin is shown to be more capable than Nightwing, the one supposed to be defending his own city. So the thugs and even Barbara making fun of him is completely unwarranted. Robin is one of the most sidelined characters in the whole franchise, yet is honestly one of the best. And Flip of a Coin gives us the smallest hint of what could have been, but just doesn't do enough with it for me to consider it a good story pack. If they just tried a little more, we could have had something really great on our hands. With that in mind, do all the YouTube stuff because Robin deserves a little love at this point. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later, chaps.
Where?
Okay, I'll talk. He's in the main office, I swear.